We have Ranumi with a journey full of experience. A journey full of experience or experiences by Ranumi.
Hello, dear contestant and dear junior Toastmasters. Today I want to share my speech with you. As long as I can remember, my sister went to a school far away, so she wasn't home that much. But she would always come home for special events and holidays. And when she came, she would tell us about the amazing time she had there. And this really inspired me to do what she does, to go away from home, to do what I love to do, to educate myself and learn new things. But my mom didn't like this. My mom wanted me to stay with her, so she can help me throughout my process with learning. But I wouldn't give up. I said, if she can do it, why can't I? And after my scholarship, I passed barely. Our cutting marks were 148. And I got 148 marks on my exam. But the most important thing was I passed. But it was not enough to get into the school that my sister went. So I was really sad and let down. But after a few months, my dad figured out a new school. It was in the same place my sister went to, but a different school. It was a girls' school, and I was really excited. But I could tell that my mom wasn't happy. But I finally convinced my mom to let me go. And one day, we all got ready and we shipped off to the new school. I really loved the school. It was very beautiful, outside and inside. But then everyone told me I was going to stay at a hostel. And I was not ready for what's about to come. And then we went to the hostel. And I still remember the day that my parents left me there. I looked at them as they left, tears in my eyes. But I managed to stay there. I thought, how hard could it be? But I underestimated how hard it will be. I missed my family the first week a lot. I didn't have a lot of friends. No one really liked me there. But I started to grow into it and stay there. But I always miss my family, so every week we get 2 calls. And when I get a call from my parents, I would always cry on the phone and ask if I can go back home. But it never changed. And after some time, a person in my class, she was our cousin. She asked me if I would like to stay at her home while I come to school. So I said yes. I was very happy. I didn't want to stay in the hostel any longer. So I convinced my parents to let me go to her house. And after I went to her house, I also figured out that it was really hard. And I wanted to change, but it was too soon. I just got there. So I had to try my best. And I tried my best. But I still couldn't get used to the lifestyle they had. I always had difficulties when I stayed there. I would always call my parents and ask them if I can change school, if I can go to somewhere different. And after some time, my wish was granted. I got to go to a boarding school. It was my friend's boarding school, so I was very happy to spend some time with her. And my parents agreed, so I went to the new boarding school. And it was difficult as well. There was a grandma there. She took care of us. But when I stayed there, it was also still difficult. There were a lot of difficulties. First of all, she was very nosy. She lived at the room next to us and she always listened to what we were talking. And she would always ask us to study or not close our doors all the time. it was too much for me. And after some days, my friend that I was staying with had a problem, so she had to go to a different boarding. And now I had to stay there all by myself. And I was not happy for it. And after I told my mom about this, she said, okay, then you can move. But it took a really long time. And it took me a long time to stay there. And I'm a big scaredy cat. So I was very scared to stay there by myself. I would always have problem turning off the lights at night. I was really scared. But after some time, my mom would give in and we changed to a new boarding school. And this boarding school, the people there were all Tamil. And they were renting a new house that I was going to be boarding at. And they had 2 sisters and 1 younger sister, 2 older, and a brother. It was fine at first. I really loved it there because the aunt was very nice and she wouldn't come into my room all the time and I had so much freedom. But after some time, I missed my family. I decided I was never going to like the life there. So I never stopped crying to come back home. But my mom wouldn't give in. I cried a lot to get here. So she was not just gonna let me come back home after all the fight. But I stayed there for a while. And after some time, I thought I would go home from school. I would go to school from home. And I took the school bus every morning. The school bus came there at 5, so I had to wake up very early. And I had to wake up at 4 and 4:30 or 4:30. And it was very exhausting. But I still liked it way more because I could spend time home. But I would come home really late, like 4 or 3. But I figured that it was way better than the boarding school. But my mom didn't like that. It was very exhausting for her as well because she had to wake up with me and help me to get ready for school. So I went back to the same boarding house. But when I got there, they had a problem. They were changing to a new house. So I had to go there with them. But I was very, very scared that it would be away from our school. So I had to go all the way from there to the school. But it was fine. It wasn't that far. But it was a very small house. I didn't have a lot of space. We all lived in the same room. So I didn't like it there either. But I stayed there for some time. And after some time, I went back home. I started going from home to school. And after some time, my mom said, we can't do this all the time. We have to wake up too early. You have to go back. And then we went back. And then, guess what she did? She changed to another house. So I had to move there with them. But this one was way further. So I decided, no, I am not staying there. So I came home. And after that, I went to school from home. And I finally decided, we can't do this anymore. We have to change to a new school. But I still appreciate the journey that I went through. It was a beautiful journey and I learned a lot, like to take care of myself and how to stay independent and alone. It was a very nice journey and it was a very good experience for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Ranumi. I was really